Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly community oracle poll, where we are going to be doing oracle readings today. I'm gonna give everybody some time to come through because I know I'm like a little bit late because I was making tacos because your girl was hungry. But we're gonna give it a minute before we get started to give everybody some time to come through. If you are a Patreon member or channel member, go ahead and put, if you want to start dropping your questions, go ahead and put your specific, like your name from Patreon, so that way I could cross you off the list. Because I always try to get to as many people as possible. So if you're a channel member, Patreon member, I have the list on my iPad. So just give me the name and you can put in your question and which deck you want me to use. So let me go ahead and pick the decks. So we'll do messages from the mermaids. We will do, of course, we gotta do the Okana because you already know. We'll do the Okana, which is for shadow work. You guys already know. This is like this has to be present like at every single time. The Sacred Symbols Oracle deck. Okay. Almost dropped this. Let me just put it right here for now. Let's do the Archangel Michael. And Wisdom of the House of Knights. Let me see. We'll do the Isis Oracle. And the Moonology. So those will be the Oracle deck options for today. So for those who are Patreon members, channel members, just drop in the comments your Patreon membership, your Patreon name, or in the membership, so that way I can cross you off the list. Your question and the Oracle deck that you want me to use. Okay. For those who are not and want me to pull some cards for them, just send $5 to my Cash App or Venmo, which is the same as my channel name. I'm gonna go ahead and set up TikTok, the clock app. This for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and set up the clock app so we can get sorted. But I hope everybody's doing good. I'm live. Whew. And boom. Okay, so there we go. And secure that right there, and boom. And we're here, and we're pretty much, you know what? I'm gonna put the Isis Oracle back, just because that one's always so much harder to shuffle anyway. And the mini one is in my altar. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to the weekly community oracle poll where we, do oracle readings. So the point of this live is for you guys to have access to low cost readings as always. So we're pretty much going to get started. So for those who are Patreon members or channel members, just go ahead and put your name. So that way from the Patreon member page, put your name in there so I can cross you off the list, because as you guys know, Patreon members, your reading is included. Sorry, I had to fix TikTok. Your reading is included. Your Oracle deck options are the Moonology deck, the Wisdom from the House of Knight deck, the Archangel Michael deck, the Sacred Symbols deck, the Messages from the Mermaids deck, okay, and the Okana deck, okay. But only pick that one if you're trying to do shadow work. We say it every time. So if you want me to pull some cards for you, if you're a Patreon member, go ahead and drop your question. Just make sure you put your username on Patreon to cross you off the list. And for those who would like me to pull some cards for them, just $5 to $10 to my Cash App or Venmo, which is the same as my username. So yeah, I hope that you guys have been having a good summer. It's been hot as hell over here. Hot as hell. But you know, we're getting through. We're working through. We're getting it through. But it's just been really, really busy. It's just been busy. I've just been working on readings like back to back to back to back to back. So it's been a little chaotic lately. But oh, boom. And also, this is a great time to remind y'all to get tickets to Healing the Generational Trauma Part 2 workshop. Because we're doing Part 2 this month. It's part of Ancestral Healing Generational Trauma series that we're doing. So if you were there for Part 1, definitely come through for Part 2. If you weren't there for Part 1 of Healing the Matriarch, Healing Generational Trauma, it's still available for Patreon members. So definitely, it's on the High Priestess level. You guys, one of the perks about from the High Priest level is that you can binge watch all of my past workshops, which I highly recommend because I don't like to let my workshops go to waste. So if you miss Part 1 and want to do Part 1 and want to attend Part 2, highly recommend to Patreon for Part 1. And if you wanted to get tickets for Part 2, get tickets for Part 2. Or on the Patreon member High Priest level, the tickets to the workshop are automatically included. So perks all around. But yeah, definitely don't forget to sign up for the workshop because it's getting sold out very soon. And I just want to make sure that whomever wants to be there can be there. But I'm going to do the spiel again for those who are coming through because I see a lot of people, the number keeps going up. So welcome to the weekly community oracle pool. If you want me to pull a card, some cards for you. If you are a Patreon member, go ahead and put your Patreon member name in the comments with your question in the oracle deck. If you're not a member, you can go ahead and just send $5 to $10 to my Cash App or Venmo, which will be, the same as my name on here on YouTube or on TikTok. Your oracle card options for this week is the Moonology oracle cards, the Wisdom from the House of Night, the Archangel Michael, the Sacred Symbols oracle deck, and the Messages from the Mermaids oracle deck, as well as the Okana oracle deck. But please only pick this deck if you're trying to do shadow work because this deck is not for the faint of heart. So just letting y'all know. But go ahead and drop your questions when you're ready. For those who are Patreon members, go ahead and put it in the comments. For everybody else, just do this spiel situation, think about Bob. You can also do, for those who are on YouTube, if you want to do it as a super chat, you can also do it well. That makes it a lot easier for you guys. Ooh. But I hope that you guys are having a good day. It's been a very, it's been a week. It's been a week. I've had like 3 tribal meetings this week. So you got I've been in tribal meetings all week. But it's been a beautiful experience. It's definitely been a beautiful experience. Let me do. Okay. So we got our first reading. Hello, boo. Hello, love. Okay, so which deck do you want me to read from, and do you have a question that you want specifically? So these are your card options. The Wisdom from the House of Nights, the Moonology, the Sacred Symbols, the Archangel Michael, the Messages from the Mermaids, and the Okana Oracle deck. Warning, only pick this deck if you're trying to do shadow work because this deck will read you to the goal. So yes. So just let me know in the comments and then we will get started. We will be here for about, I want to say 9:45-ish. So yes, and then we'll be back next week. Your girl's been like crazy busy. Also, just to let you guys know, I am having a buy one get one 50% off on all 1 hour past life readings, which is really cool because you get 50% off code and you can use that up until the end of December of this year, which works out because let me know if you can see me because I definitely just got kicked out of the studio for no reason. But for those who specifically like to do a past work, it works really well because you can do one reading now and maybe another reading with the 50% off, like 1 month or 2 months after, or like 3 months after, however is convenient for you. But a lot of people have been messaging me about past life work lately, so I was like, you know what? Let me just do a little special. So past life readings, 1 hour past life sessions, which is the longest that I offer right now, and are also the ones that give you enough time to ask a lot of questions as well. Or buy one get one 50% off, and you can use the 50% off coupon up until December, the last day of December of this year. So definitely make sure that you check that out on my website, because that sale is going to be limited. So yeah, if you're signed up for my email list, you will get an update as to when it is like done. But if you want to get a past life reading, it's like kind of like buy one get one 50% off, so you can get two. Okay, I want to know what doors are opening for me. You can choose the deck intuitively. Okay. This was a battle between Archangel Michael and the Sacred Symbols deck, but the Sacred Symbols deck took it, so I was like, we ain't gonna argue with the decks and the spirits of the decks. Okay. What doors are opening for us? What doors are opening? What doors are opening? What doors are open? What the? Wow. Wow. Okay. Bottom of the deck is safe travels and magic. And it makes sense for the rest of the reading. I'm just like, okay. So the first card that's coming out is air. Air. Then we have full moon. Okay. Then we have talisman. Okay. So when it comes to what's coming up, as far as like what doors are opening up for you, a lot of the things that are going to be manifesting within your life are happening because of your mind, because of the work that you've been putting in, the affirmations that you have been putting in, the intention that you have been putting in, and the focus, really the focus, the things that are like kind of running in the background, whether it being like you doing some sort of spell work and saying, you know what, this is what direction I'm going in. Like, ancestors, please help me, guide me. I want to be mentally, just consistent within my path. And this is where I'm trying to head. This is what, keep my mind clear, keep my path clear, keep things like very much like in alignment for me. Like, this is why the safe travel card is coming up the way that the safe travel card is coming up. Because it's very much the underlining energies of this is that the reason why things are opening up the way that they're opening up is because you set intention for it. Is because you called on this path. Is because you gave that consent for things to start to kind of open up for you. And it's beautiful because we're headed towards you're headed towards this like full moon energy, which is very much like completion. This is very much like, the conclusion of the thing. And so it is a beautiful card to get in this context because it's like you're going to get exactly what it is that you set intention for. You're going to get exactly what it is that you said, you know what, this is what I wanted. Like, that's where you're headed. You're headed towards what it is that you wanted and what it is that you wanted to achieve, what it is that you wanted to do. It's like, nope, you are safe to travel towards that destination. Like, the paths are open for you. Literally underneath those two cards is protection and new life. So it's like the things that you have set intention for are actively running in the background. They're manifesting. You should be doing affirmations during this time, by the way, in order to solidify a lot of these intentions and to ground these intentions. I love doing affirmations just because I'm a Gemini moon. You guys know this. So I actively use my voice a lot. I'm actively like a lot. But it's super, super important to navigate your mind in a way where you're like just super clear on the direction that you're headed. You're just like, nothing's stopping me from getting in the way. Nothing, like, I already know it's coming. It's like, it's one of those, like, if you already know what's happening, like, why be worried? Why have that be the mental energy? Like, why be worried when you know you're gonna get what you want? It's very, very like fulfilling and a beautiful energy coming in from your spirits. I mean, you're also getting talisman, because one of the things that you should be doing is supporting yourself spiritually with different tools, whether it be like you're wearing a crystal or you have some sort of protective something on that is specifically meant for protection. Whether it be, you know, you're using different tools, or you're learning different tools, or you're even using divination, or using like different types of things, that maybe you're carrying something in your purse that you've like consecrated or, you know, specifically enchanted to help you or assist you within opening this door. You need to make sure that you're working with the tools that you have. So if you have like, let's say, I don't know, you have like a lip gloss or something that you specifically wear when you are around your boss, that specifically is enchanted for you to like, every word that comes out of your mouth, for it to be listened to, for it to be taken into higher regard, higher value, for it to be like, oh my God, I'm turning heads. I'm getting my boss to look at me and notice me and want to give me the promotion. Like, it's really about using your tools right now, and really look at what you can be doing right now that can assist you where you're trying to head as well. Because it is, again, it's working with the air element it can be very subtle. It can be, you know, think of it in the way that I mean by subtle. Think about the way, you know, our brains work. I can actively be talking and you guys can listen to what I'm saying out loud, but internally I could be having a whole nother like narrative playing in my brain. There are things that you don't always need to say everything out loud. You don't always need to expose everything out loud. There are certain things that need to be internalized. And for you, it's like, you need to, some of the works that you're doing need to be subtle, need to be very nuanced, need to be very like, not everybody needs to know what you're doing or why you're putting on that lip gloss at work that you enchanted for that thing. And it's kind of like, you have to use the tools that you have, but nobody else needs to know your business. Does that make sense? I feel like that should make sense. But that is your message, my love. It is a very beautiful message. I feel like you are definitely you're in the path, you're in the journey and the path of getting what you want, which is amazing. And the ancestors are really giving you that green light with the safe travel card. It's like, you're good. You'll be fine. Why? Because that's what you set intention for. You set intention for all of this. You literally set intention for all of this. So what do you think is going to happen? Like, you set intention for it. So it's definitely very beautiful energy, but yeah, that was your reading, my love. I hope that it made sense, and I hope that you got all of the messages that you needed to get. For those who are just joining, welcome to the weekly community oracle poll. For those who want me to pull some cards for them, who are not Patreon members, because Patreon members, it's included in the membership, that you guys get weekly readings, basically. So, okay. If you're not a Patreon member and you want me to read some cards for you, just send $5 to $10 to my Cash App or Venmo, which is, the same as my username. And for those who are on YouTube, if you want to do it as a super chat, if you are a Patreon member, write down the name that you have on Patreon so I can cross you off the list on my iPad, because I'm trying to make sure that everybody gets their reading before, like, that's here before I sign off. So definitely put if you're a Patreon member, put your name, put your username or your name on there on the comment section so I can cross you out. Okay. But for anybody else who wants me, who is not a Patreon member, who wants me to read for them, go ahead and send $5 to $10 to my Cash App or Venmo, or on a super chat on YouTube. However y'all want to do it, let me know. Oh my God, thank you for the bottom of my heart. I've been subscribed since you started. Oh my God, thanks, Boo. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of the love. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. We're gonna continue to grow, and I still have so much stuff that I have plans for this channel and like everything that I'm working on. That eventually you guys will get to see like the intentions that I've set for the channel and everything. As we continue to grow, but I'm just super excited. I really I just love our community. I feel like we're just like amazing. But peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Thanks, Boo. Michaela. Okay. Michaela always says general any deck, and then she comes back later and then comes back and sees it. Because sometimes she gotta go. But we're gonna do Michaela's real quick. So for those who want me to pull some cards for them, these are your card options. So after you send Cash App or Venmo or Super Chat, just tell me which Oracle deck you want me to read from. So your options is the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck, the Wisdom from the House of Night Oracle deck, the Moonology Oracle deck, the Archangel Michael Oracle deck, the Messages from the Mermaids Oracle deck, and the Okana Oracle deck. But please only pick this deck if you are trying to do shadow work, because this deck is not for the faint of heart. It is not love and light in any capacity. This is literally a shadow work deck, and is an ancestral shadow work deck. I cannot stress that enough. It is an ancestral shadow work deck, and it will read you to the filth, and you're just gonna come out of it thinking I'm mean, but I'm just giving the messages, y'all. I'm just giving the messages. Okay, Michaela. The Mermaids wants to take this one, so we're gonna do Messages from the Mermaids. Each deck has an individual spirit attached to it, and they be playing like, oh, I'll take this one, I'll take this one, I'll take this one, kind of thing. It'd be an interesting situation. Okay, Michaela Hopkins. Oh, all right. Okay. Yo, if I don't get attacked by a deck, is this really alive? I feel like I get attacked by decks a lot in here. I'm just saying. Okay, Michaela Hopkins. So what does Michaela Hopkins need to know? What does Michaela? Oh. Okay. Oh. Michaela. Oh my God. This week. Okay. The being in your head is like not even, it's just an over exaggeration. Bottom of the deck is contemplation, and it literally goes with everything else that came out. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, Michaela. So the first cards are decision and discernment. Decision and discernment. Then we have turn away and inner knowing. And then bottom of the deck is contemplation. What is happening, babes? What is going on? What is going on? There's definitely, I feel like there's a lot going on mentally. There's a lot of mental energy. There's definitely a lot of trying to kind of figure out what to do, or like the best way to go about like what needs to be done. It's like definitely needing to make a decision, but you also have to be very, very careful about it, very like tactical about it. It's like you can't just say fuck it and kind of go about it. It's like you have to really think it through before you make a decision, and you have a couple of options, but not all of them are that, not everything is super great. it feels like in part you do have to use your intuition when it comes to this because you're getting turned away and inner knowing, which means that you internally know what you need to do. You're sitting on it. You're sitting on it and contemplating and thinking about and like you're sitting on it, but you're not it's kind of like you haven't made an action yet. You haven't decided what you were going to do. You haven't chosen. You haven't, followed through with it, right? So if oh, it just feels like you're a little bit in a mental limbo. It feels like you need to be very careful of the decision that you make. That's something that Spirit is being very clear about. You need to be very careful of the decision that you make, but you also need to listen to yourself in the process. Okay. You need to listen to yourself in the process because this situation requires you to be like sure with yourself. When people do shit that's careless, that it's almost like, oh my God, I wasn't thinking, oh my God, I wasn't and they give excuses for the thing. You need to do the opposite. You need to have a decisive thought like, no, this is why I did what I did. This is what I said, This is why this needed to be done the way that this needed to be done. This is why. Like, you need a game plan surrounding the decision that's being made. It needs to be thoughtful. It needs to be something that's tactical. It needs to make sense. It needs to be like, this is giving me hella Capricorn energy. It needs to be something that makes sense and that you can stick by. Like, it needs to be like, this is why I made that decision. Okay, well, if you want to talk about it, this is why I made that decision. This is why I chose for the best of the situation. This is why I made the decision that I made. This is why I chose what I chose, and I stand by this because that's what felt right to me. It needs to also, you need to make sure that mentally your conscience needs to be clear. If it's not, you're going to be haunted by your actions. That's kind of the other thing about it. There's a possibility of what you choose, depending on if it's careless or not, can haunt you. And it could be one of those like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. And then like every other kind of month or so, it's just like, damn, why did I do that? I shouldn't have addressed it that way. You have to be very, very careful of how you go about solidifying this thing. Okay, you have to be very careful about the way you go about just in totality, the way that you go about, deciding this. You have to be okay with it. You have to feel like, you know what, this was the right thing. And if you have to kind of leave something behind, or you have to shift something, or if it's just like something got to give, and certain people getting kicked out, or certain things are happening, then that's what you know to be true. It really comes down to what your intuition is telling you in the moment. If you yourself feel like, yo, I just kind of want to leave, or you know what, I've been thinking about it, it keeps bothering me, I just don't want to do this. Or like, if you yourself, your body, your spirit is saying this ain't it, guess what? It ain't it. And so you're going to have to make sure that you're listening to yourself through this process. But it is a very mental process. It is a very, very, very mental process right now. You need to be very, very gentle with yourself. You need to really listen to not only like the messages that Spirit is giving you, because when it comes to your life and the way that you live your life, at the end of the day, you're the one that makes the decisions. Like, Spirit can tell you, hey, you know what, be careful about, doing X, Y, Z, and B, and you can do it anyway. It's your life. You don't always have to listen to the guidance, but then you'll find out later why the guidance was given. It really comes down to that. And sometimes you have to understand that your intuition is that inner guidance. Sometimes you yourself are warning yourself of things that are literally like down the road. So you have to make sure that from that contemplation, from that inner knowing, from like navigating all of that mental energy, that you feel okay with the decision that you end up coming out with and that you end up sticking by. Because it ain't gonna be like, if you make this decision thoroughly and thoughtfully, it's gonna be one of those moments where like it was like I did what I did. I said what I said. Like that was it. That was the best thing that I could have done in that moment. And at the end of the day, if that was the best thing you believe that you could have done, that's it. There's no arguing. Period. That's a period. But if you half-assed this and then you could have done this differently or better, it's because you disregarded this. So yeah, that is your reading, my love. I hope that it makes sense. I hope that you got messages that you needed. What is the name of those beautiful cards? This is the Messages from the Mermaids Oracle deck. Absolutely love this deck. It is one of my favorites. But yes, that was your reading, my love. I know it was a lot. We talk a lot in here. Okay. Okay, we have a super chat. Well, the casting I went to on the 13th worked out for me, and they said you pick which deck when it's my turn. Got you, boo. Got you. For those who are just jumping in, we're probably going to be signing off at like 9:45. It's currently 9:22. Just letting everybody know. But if you want me to pull some oracle cards for you, if you're a Patreon member, you already know it's included in your membership, so you can go ahead and drop your comment with the question on the comments. If you are a Patreon member, please write your Patreon member name on the comments so I can cross you off the list. Please do so, because if you don't put it in there, I don't know if your name is different from YouTube and Patreon, and I'm not going to guess. So until that happens, I'm not going to read the question. So please put your Patreon member name in the comments with your question and the oracle deck you want me to pick if you are a Patreon member, okay? If you are not a Patreon member, you want me to pull some cards for you, go ahead and send $5 to $10 or super chat to the basically my Cash App or Venmo, which is the same as my username. Your oracle deck options for this week is the Messages from the Mermaids Oracle deck, the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck. Ooh, I almost dropped it. The Wisdom from the House of Night Oracle deck, the Moonology Oracle deck, and the Archangel Michael Oracle deck. Oh, and the Okana Oracle deck, but please only pick this deck if you're trying to do shadow work, because this deck is not for the faint of heart. Okay, so will the casting I went to on the 13th work out for me? Let me see which one wants to take this one. Okay, the Moonology is screaming. Michaela said, if you don't get attacked by my cards, is it even for me? Things in the guy. Michaela knows. Michaela been here for a long time. Like, I feel like everybody who's been here for a minute knows that I be getting attacked by oracle cards, especially the Archangel one. Archangel Michael be just straight up throwing oracle cards at me. Like, y'all don't even listen. Okay, so will the casting they want to work out for them? Will the casting they want to on the 13th work out for them? Will the casting they want to on the 13th? Will the casting? Okay. One more. Will the casting? Okay, bottom of the deck. Nothing will come out of the situation. There's a void of course moon. And then we have, look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. You are good enough, full moon in Virgo. And you and your loved ones are safe, new moon in Cancer. So, a couple things going on here. First and foremost, you need to widen your kind of scope when it comes to the casting specifically. You need to widen your scope and not put all your eggs in one basket. That's like the one thing Spirit is screaming. Widen your scope. Don't limit yourself to the one thing. When it comes to looking at the bigger picture, and then you're getting that full moon energy, and you got 2 full moons actually, 2 full moons and 1 new. there's the energy in this reading that is almost like not feeling good enough to get what it was that you want to get. But there's also this push, like your spirit's very much pushing you into the next thing. It's like, hey, don't just get completely hung up on this. Look at what else you could be doing. Look at where else you could be like applying to, where else you could be kind of like targeting as far as like what's next. Don't limit yourself to this one thing. Sometimes we put all of our eggs in one basket when spirit is like, yeah, but you weren't even meant to do that anyway. Like you were actually supposed to go in this path, which is a little similar to this. It's just not that one. It's that one over there. But if you're just super focused and tunnel vision focused on that one thing, it's hard to see the other possibilities of the thing, right? This is why when it comes to spell work, it's very, very important to not always be so specific about the thing. This is how you know certain things are in alignment when they need to be. Like I find, like, for example, a lot of people tend to, especially like, let's say love work, for example. Let's say that somebody's trying to attract one specific person, right? And then they're doing all of this love spells like, oh my God, this is the person that I want. This is it. This is the person. Meanwhile, your spirits and your ancestors is like, but that's not even the person. The other person is like 2 blocks from you, but you're too busy tunnel vision focusing on this one person. That's not it. And it's kind of like, when are you going to make the intention a little bit more open so we can have this path to this other person be, you know, in your path? Because you are also spiritually consenting to where you're consenting. You need to be doing a blockbuster, like a road opener kind of spell work right now. You also need to not get down on yourself about the situation either. It's not that you're not good enough. It's not that you're not, like, you know, worthy enough, or like you're not the, it's not about that. It's that you need to not limit yourself to the things that you don't get. You need to open yourself up to the things that you know will come your way, that you know you're going to receive, period. I know there's definitely this kind of energy also with this energy, this Cancer energy of like the home situation. And at the end of the day, your ancestors are very clear about like you're protected and you will be taken care of. But it needs to be done correctly. You can't force something that wasn't meant for you in the first place, because it's just not going to feel good. But you shouldn't get down on yourself for the situation. You need to cast a wider net, like a wider net, and look at the possibilities. I know sometimes it's hard to say that because it's like, oh, but Abby, but I really, 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 really wanted that one thing. Let me tell you a quick story, okay? Well, it's not really that deep of a story, but there's something that I wanted that was supposed to come through like this week, okay? And I was like, oh my God, I want it in this color. This is the color that I wanted. It's something silly. It was like this luggage set. I don't know if you guys know the Shea Mitchell like luggage company, the Bays or whatever. Apparently, and I saw this on TikTok, apparently in Nordstrom, a bunch of the 2 colors, the matcha and the which is like this beautiful like mint green, and the pink one were going on sale. And I don't know if you've ever seen the prices on the luggages. It's expensive. Okay, this is a bougie ass luggages. But those 2 colors were going on sale, and I really wanted the green one. And Nordstrom was having this anniversary sale or something for the 15th, but those who had like credit cards and stuff like that, like basically had access to it first. And so it ended up selling out, including in like all of the stores. And I wasn't going to get a credit card because I don't do credit cards. No, we don't do debt energy over here. No, that's some colonizer colonial shit. I'm not doing that. And I was just like, okay, maybe when it goes on the 15th, maybe it'll still be there, or maybe I'll find it at the store, whatever. But it completely sold out everywhere. And I was just like, damn it, I really wanted that one in that color. It's like the perfect freaking green. Look it up later. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's like the perfect green. I loved it. Completely visualized myself with it. Absolutely love it. But I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not the right time for me to get it. Maybe there's a reason. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. We're going to find out. But it just wasn't the right time for me to get it. Not everything that I want, I'm going to always receive in that way. Maybe it's a different one. Maybe it's a different color. Maybe they might have some crazy stupid sale later that I would have saved more for. You never know what the ancestors are saving your ass from. You really don't. You really don't know. Like, it could have been defective. You never know what the ancestors are saving you from. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I guess I wasn't meant to get it, but beautiful green color. It was like the color of like this card right here. Oh my god, beautiful green. But you know what? It doesn't always. You don't always get what you want. Sometimes it has to come in through in a different way. Sometimes the same experience or the same thing that you're looking for needs to come in a different way, not in exactly the way that you're visualizing it. And sometimes it be like that. Sometimes it be like that. And sometimes the ancestors will humble you. Like, okay, I gave you this last week. You don't like. Sometimes they will humble you, and they will kind of like, you know, they keep you humble as well. But sometimes it's a test. Sometimes it's like, do you still trust me? Do you still trust me? Do you still trust me that I got you? Let me see. Let me make you sweat it for a little bit and see what you do with that. Let me see if you're gonna start doubting. Let me see how you gonna feel about it. I've seen so many different people be like, oh, spiritual people be like, yo, my ancestors were supposed to have my back in this moment. Like, what the hell happened? And I'm like, it's a test. It's very obvious. It's a test. There are certain times when you will be tested. Your patience will be tested. You just will be tested, and you're gonna have to kind of roll with the punches on that. And a lot of it really comes down to you needing to stay the course and you needing to like trust. Like, you know what? Maybe there's something that I was being saved from, or like maybe there's something. There was another direction. Maybe this was literally a test for how you would feel after that rejection, because rejection does not feel good. It doesn't. But what do you do with that? How do you transmute that? You are good enough. Were you not feeling good enough before? Is that something that you've been working on? Is that something that you've been needing to resolve within yourself? Do you have self-esteem problems? Is there anything that you need to heal? Because this is the Virgo card. So what about this is triggering your healing? How do you need to nourish yourself right now? There's so many things that come through just by looking at the circumstance. You're not always going to get what you want. And there is a reason. And sometimes it is a test. Sometimes, sometimes the ancestors sometimes your spirits will just be like, no, I'm not going to give you what you want this time. And I want to see what you're going to do with that. It's a test. It is a test. It is a test. And then once you process that, because I feel like sometimes, and you guys know how I use the analogy of like, we're just big grown ass babies that we have to feed and take care of ourselves. Like, we're big ass babies, okay, with brains. We got to feed ourselves. We got to take care of ourselves. We have to make sure we're clean. We're big ass babies, okay? I know there's a lot going on in the United States right now, but we are big ass babies. And I am pro-choice, by the way, but we are big ass babies. We have to take care of ourselves. So there comes a time where it's like, okay, you can't always get what you want as you are like, you know, taking care. Sometimes you gotta, the test gotta come through to kind of like check your foundation a little bit. And this is one of those times where it's like, you need to open up, again, I think you need to do a blockbuster spell or a road opening spell and just kind of like cleanse yourself, be at peace with it, and focus on your self-esteem, especially as we're headed through Leo season. You need to make sure that your ego and your strength is there. Like, you're still that bitch. Okay, that didn't change. You still that. It's just that, okay, this one time you didn't get what you want. Okay. There was a reason. You'll find out later. But just focus on nourishing yourself right now and open up your paths. Do not limit yourself. Okay? Does that make sense? That was a lot. I feel like that was a lot of messages. But I hope that you got all the messages that you needed. I hope that you got, we spoke a lot, but I hope that you got all the messages that you needed. Woo. Anyway. Okay. So I'm going to do probably one or two more. Hold on. I think we have like three more. Okay, we're going to do the last three. Okay. Wait, I'm reading the damn comments. It keeps bouncing. I don't know why it does that all the time. Steph said I Venmoed you. Okay. Let me just, hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Okay. Let me go back. Okay. Mermaid deck. That's what it was. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay, so Mermaid deck. Do you have a question? Do you have a question? Let me know if you have a question so I can ask the question. If not, it will just be general. I like a general message. But let me know in the comments if you want me to just do a general message. So we're gonna do Christine and then Valentina, and then we're gonna close it up after Steph. Okay, Steph, let me know in the comments if you have a question. If not, I'll just like do a general reading. I hope everybody's having a good day though, because it's been a lot. I had a whole tribal meeting and it was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun. Okay, general. Okay. Let's see. What does Steph need to know right now? What does Steph, okay. What does Steph need to know? Okay. What does Steph need to know right now? Okay. Okay. Ooh, I like this. I really do. I like this. Okay, bottom of the deck is re-energize, which literally goes perfectly with this reading. So the first card that you're getting is breaking free. Okay, breaking free. Then we have communication. Then we have blessings. Then we have decisions. And then we have lights. Okay. So, first and foremost, these retrogrades are definitely causing you to reevaluate and see your way out of certain situations. You might, find yourself really removing yourself from certain people, certain environments, certain friendships, certain relationships during this time. During this time, make sure communication is clear. But what Spirit is saying is specifically is the breakdown in communication that's causing this liberation. Okay. It is this kind of, it's like a moment of like, you know what? We talked about this before. This has happened before. Like we've already had this conversation. Like how many times do I need to repeat myself? Like it is not only mentally getting you in the space where you're clear about it, but it's also like that breakdown of communication is like, okay, I'm tired of having this conversation. Like miss me with that. Like I'm tired of having this conversation. I can't keep doing this shit. So there is this moment where there's a breakthrough and there's actions behind that. There's just like, you know what? I'm not going to continue to feed the same old thing. I am going to, this is why you're getting re-energized at the bottom of the deck, because it's like how much, and underneath that is awareness. How much of my energy, how much of my time, how much of me am I supposed to feed into the situation before I just like let it take everything? Like I'm already over it. Like it's a very over it kind of energy. And it's like now it's like I need to be fueling my energy somewhere else. I can't just keep giving you all my time. I can't just keep giving, like I can't keep doing this. It is a very mentally clear thing. And the thing about it is that this liberation is generally going to lead to your blessings because you are making space for new things to come in. That's kind of the other thing. You have been stuck for a minute now. Okay, you've been stuck for a cute minute now. And when you decide to make that decision to come back into that light, to re-energize yourself, to really like look at, you know what, I've really been wasting my time. I've really been giving this more than I needed to. I really should have just like, I should have exited like ago, okay? It's very much like you're getting more awareness, you're getting more clear as to why you need to do what you need to do, why the decision needs to be made the way that needs to be made. But you're ultimately coming out of it into the light. You're gonna feel a lot lighter. You're gonna feel again that energy of liberation, that like release. That is just like, oh, it's like that breath, that deep breath out that you take when you're just like, so that weight is off your shoulders. Like you don't have to put up with it anymore. You don't have to deal with it anymore. That's where you're headed right now. And because this is the direction that you're choosing, the decision that you're choosing are going to lead to blessings because you're making space for new things to come through. You're making space, your road is more open to blessings that you couldn't have received because this was in your way. So you're going to see a lot of communication breaking down. It's the retrogrades that are pushing you into this release, by the way. Because it's kind of like, especially with Saturn, y'all, Saturn is not the planet, especially like, while it's doing its thing. Saturn is not the planet to be messing with in any type of capacity when it comes to having things around you that are not of quality, and that things, I also include people that are not of quality and are not meant to withstand years. If it cannot withstand years, it cannot stay. Saturn is a grounding planet. So you can't just like keep shit around, keep people around, keep situations around, keep jobs around that are just literally not going to be important to you, not going to bring you sustenance, not going to help you, give you like that love, give you that good foundation, give you that grounding that you need with said thing. And by thing, I'm also including people. Saturn is like, okay, if this is going to stay in your life for X amount of years, because that's how Saturn sees things, isn't a years type thing. It needs to be something that is going to be grounded. Do you want to be grounded in some bullshit? Do you want to stay in this toxicity? Do you want to stay in this situation? No? Okay, then guess what? You now have to make the decision to see your way out. Okay? Saturn will break down like boundaries and will break down the walls that you had set in place to protect shit that you were never meant to hold for longer than you needed to all of the time. Saturn is not the one. But Saturn will have you be grounded though. It will have you ultimately have the things that you will have that will last. If whatever is getting removed right now, whatever you're deciding, it's like, nah, I can't, I'm sorry, I cannot continue. This is not me. It needed to be gone. It needed to be like, it cannot stay. It has outlasted is just presence. It needs to go. It gotta go. But the great thing is that there are blessings outside that door. So congrats. But it's one of those things where it's like it's not super easy to cut the cord, but once you do, it's like, okay, well, I already did that, so I'm not sewing that shit back together. So that is your reading, my love. I hope that you got all of the messages that you needed, and I hope that it makes sense. But yes, very, very. You guys are getting very specific messages today, which I love. But yeah, very, very specific messages today. Interesting. Okay. So we're going to do the last two. I believe I said it was Christine and then Valentina. Okay. So Christine, should I put more energy in my new job or direct more energy to my mushrooms? Whichever deck would answer best. Okay, so the Sacred Symbols deck wants to take this one. So we're gonna do this one. Okay, for Christine, should they put more energy into their new job or put more? Oh. Okay. 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 So Hello. So your first card is past life. Your second card is focus. And your third card is transformation. How does that relate to your question, you might ask? So you right now are being torn into two different type of directions. And you are in a specific predicament where this is definitely mirroring one of your past lives, where you now must pick where you're going to direct and focus in and direct your energy. The choice that you make will ultimately either heal the past life that has been mirroring right now. It will either heal it or it won't. It really comes down to what you choose. But this is definitely a past life issue. The predicament specifically that you're in, it's a past life issue. It could be that in a past life you were in a situation where you kind of chose something that you didn't want to do, and then because you ended up sacrificing your time or something like that. I don't have your records open right now, so I can't confirm nor deny, but it could be something of the sort where it's like you ended up taking the other option and you were just not happy, which can create traumas. Bottom of the deck is good fortune in the divine masculine. So this could have been about some sort of work, some commitment within the physical realm, something that needed to be done within the physical realm, like it was a physical commitment, whether it been a job or something of the sort. And because like you could have maybe not picked yourself, picked the other thing, and it created like a resentment internally. And so right now you're having this be mirroring the situation itself. And the decision that you make will ultimately not only open up the path to that good fortune, not only would it be grounding, but it is very much going to either heal or continue to block because you have not healed this past life. It will either continue to heal or block or transform this specific issue. So overall, you need to, especially when it comes like this and moments like this, when you have this type of like reading, you need to do what feels right to you. Okay. If your intuition, if your heart is if your gut is like, this is what I should be doing, that is what you should be doing. It's one of those moments where it's like not listening to yourself can cost you a lot. And in this case, it's like blocking you grounded wise, like root wise blocking you, but also past life mirroring something where you have been unhappy because of some whatever the situation was. But it's definitely a past life issue. This kind of like weird road thing that you're in is a past life issue. But you do have like, it's like wealth, it's like prosperity it's prosperity lingering behind it. It's like whichever door you choose, one has this, the other has not that. So it's one of those moments where you have to kind of like choose what feels right to you, choose what feels right to your heart, choose like what, like what's right for you in that moment. You really have to decide that. You really have to make that choice. And you'll know if the decision is the wrong one if it feels like you regret it. I know that was a fast reading, but that was your reading, my love. Spirit just said that was it. So that's what you needed to know. But yeah. So we're gonna do Valentina, and then we're gonna wrap up for the day, for the night. It's like nighttime already. It is nighttime already. Okay. So Valentina said, "How can I better take care of myself? You pick any deck you are drawn to." Okay, so don't be mad at me, but the Okana deck wants to take this one. Oh my god. For this question, the ancestor said, But you know what? It's fine. Okay. For those who are new here, this deck is called the Okana deck, the Okana Oracle. This is a shadow work deck. It's not meant to be used all of the time. The shadow work is not meant to be done all of the time, but this deck will read you to the fill. It is not. It's not a love and light deck. It is not a sunshine and rainbows deck. It is a ancestral shadow work deck, and it will tell you the fuck off. Anyway. Okay, Valentino Flores. How can they better take care of themselves? Ancestors. Valentino. Okay. Bottom of the deck is nurture. The waters run deep. By the way, just saying. You got 3 cards. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Let me just look for the damn. Oh my God. Okay. I feel like at least in one of the lives, the Okana always has to make a little entrance situation. Let me find Famine. I believe that's an Earth. Yup, it's an Earth. The Earth element. Okay, Famine is the first card. And it says, do not pick up what is discarded. Oh, okay. Shadow element. Operating from a place of lack on a grand scale. This is the impoverished mind, governing your every word, belief, or action. A famine is, by definition, an extreme scarcity. When this card is selected, you may be going through a period of feeling like you're low on a plethora of things: spirit, energy, motivation, finances, love, appreciation, etc. However, it also suggests that you are powerless to do anything about feeling left out in the cold when it comes to abundance. It suggests that you have become accustomed to going without, so you just take what you can get, as if that's as good as it will get and that it needs to be remedied. Signs that you may be feeling like you're not living up to your potential is discomfort with going through the motions of waking, laying dormant, sleeping, and starting the process all over again. If you take a looking at the idea of reciprocity and the pendulum effect, it suggests that you ought to give what you need in return. If you want more financial abundance, don't hold onto your dollars like you'll never see them again. If you want love, don't shut people out before you give them a chance to show their intentions. I'll look for the other one. Let's go look for the other one. Next one is deceit. Look at that. Chicka pow, chicka pow. I love this deck so much. Anyway, the next one is deceit. From a lie, the truth is born. Shadow element, not being honest with oneself and losing touch with one's own spirit. As straightforward as this card may seem, it is really very much an internal looking glass to see the deepest recesses of one's true nature. What is it that you feel you're not able to show the world? Is it a sudden calling to the occult, or were you raised in a biased family? Is it sexuality? Is it a failing relationship you were convinced will work? Is it doing a job that you say you're happy with but are really not? Deceiving oneself never works because only you know both the truth and the lie. And from that lie, anxiety, fear, resentment, and discomfort between these two don't so well with each other. The card is suggesting that there is something in your life, mind, heart, or surroundings that is of deception to your true spirit. It suggests that you may be seeing signs of needing to sit down and be honest with yourself about who you are and what you want. Thanks. Breathing people to the field, left and right. I can't. But hold on. I gotta find the last one. Spirited. Okay, spirited. You stand properly and you stand crooked. Shadow element, showing lack in humility. To be spirited can be a good thing, as one half of it is that you stand properly, meaning that you are fully capable of manifesting the things that you desire because you believe in yourself. On the other side of the coin, when you stand crooked, it suggests that you refuse to acknowledge the assistance that you receive in life through the support of your ancestors, and on their other side, or through the support you may have received in the physical. There is nothing wrong with being confident. Firstly, however, this card is a card that's of haughtiness and lack of regard to outside influences that may have aided you in your overall victory. It is a sign from your ancestors, guides, and spirits to acknowledge that yes, while your successes are yours to enjoy, to never forget the support that you have in the guides and others around you who may have interceded in ways that you could not see. Show more gratitude and humility in your stride. Listen, listen. Oh my God. First of all, the ancestors said there needs to be like a full-on reevaluation on not only how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your actions, but where you're headed. It's almost like you're not clear with yourself. Um, there's a lot of internal conversation that needs to be happening internally. And also, if you're going to pray to your ancestors, if you're going to ask your mom, ask a family member, like, oh my God, or you're breaking down crying, or you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. But it's like, okay, you wake up the next day, you're feeling a little better, but then you don't even acknowledge that that person helped you. You don't even acknowledge, like, oh my God, you know what, my mom got me through that, or you know what, like my ancestors really came through for me, and really, like, in that moment, I really needed to, like, I needed that help, and I'm grateful. Like, you need to do a cute ass meal for your ancestors and spirits. And if somebody has helped you within the physical realm, you also need to have gratitude towards that. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations anyway. But there is kind of this energy of self deception. If somebody's also been in a position where they're guiding you, like you've asked them for some sort of help, you've asked them for some sort of guidance or something, and they like gave you guidance. You also need to acknowledge that. You also need to like not disregard the help and the assistance that you've been receiving. But it feels like you've kind of been stuck in a rut within yourself, and you really need to sort out different areas of yourself as well, which include your own personal strength, your own self-care, but how you're feeling about your life right now and what you want to actually do versus what you're doing and what's actually happening, and how you want to get out of those situations, or how do you want to expand from those situations. This is really asking you to check in. I feel like you need a spiritual bath, my love. You need a spiritual bath. This is asking you to check in. This is asking you to not only hold the mirror to your face, but like hold yourself accountable in the things that you haven't been doing. Like, if I were to be doing a questionnaire, like, okay, have you done your spiritual bath? When's the last time you did that? When's the last time you did something nice for yourself? When was the last time that you thanked someone for helping you? When was the last time that you did something for your spirits or your ancestors outside of asking them for something? When was the last time that you did these things? It's very much like, in order for you to kind of take care of yourself better, you need to take care of what's going on internally and also what's surrounding you externally. So if you have like an altar space, if you have something, how are you taking care of that right now? When's the last time you cleansed it? When's the last time you did that? This is it's an important time for you to reevaluate, and it's like you need a lot of self-love right now, especially with the famine card. Especially with the famine card. Don't limit yourself to the possibilities of what's coming ahead. You need to make room. And that's really where it comes down to. I feel like there's a part of it that's limited. There's a part of it that you're kind of doing stuff that doesn't align with what you really want and who you really are. And it's almost kind of like, again, that self-deception, which doesn't feel good. And then because of that, it's like you're not really being accurately yourself. So it's more frustrating. So it's like you really need to do a whole complete reevaluation. You really need to do a whole complete like recheck, be honest with yourself, sit down with your spirits, really like not only thank them for the help they've been doing, but really just, you need to cleanse. It's like a cleanse, like the way that it's like this energy, like, okay, like, okay, I'm releasing that. Like, okay, like it needs to be, whatever does not need to be yours, whatever does not need to stay in that, okay, like it needs to go. Like it's that energy. Once you do these 3 steps though, I feel like you'll be a lot more grounded within yourself. But It's a lot of self-love. It's going to take a lot of self-love for you even to hold yourself accountable about the self-deception. That's something that hits your ego, okay? And this is the ancestors being like, okay, when you don't stop lying to yourself about this thing, you know you don't really want to do this. You know you don't really want to say this thing. Like, why are you still it's one of those things that will check your ego when your spirits are like, when are you going to be honest with yourself? And you're like, but I am being, are you though? Are you being honest? It's not easy work, but taking care of yourself better requires you to make better decisions for yourself. That includes holding yourself accountable about you not doing that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That was your message, my love. I'm sorry it was a little saucy. You know this deck is a little saucy, so yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do this last question from Miss Hello Kitty 007. What is blocking me on my spiritual path? And then we're gonna sign off for the day. So we've been here for like over an hour now. You guys know I can talk a lot. But yeah, the Okana deck always has to come through with the things. With the things. What is blocking me on my spiritual path? I'm assuming, because you didn't put which deck you wanted me to use or pull from. So I am going to do that for you. Wisdom from the House of Night is like screaming right now, so that's the deck that I'm going to use for this. That is the deck that I'm gonna use for this. Okay. Let's Hello Kitty 007. What is blocking them on their spiritual path? Said hello. Hello. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I'm saying oh my god because this reading is gonna be something else. Okay, so bottom of the oh my god. I'm about to bring out the bottom of the deck for this too because this is some other shit. Hope, deceit, lust, and denial. Okay, that is the bottom of your deck. That is the underlining energies, my love. We're about to have a conversation. Okay, a conversation. This is why I was like, oh, the warrior. What is blocking you on your spiritual path? Who is that? Okay. Forbidden. The high priestess of earth. You're being real stubborn about this. And then reminder, don't forget. So you are being blocked by love, like love, romance, relationship specifically. But there's this one person. It's this one person. It's this one person that you're not supposed to be with. You're not supposed to end up with them at all. Like they're not supposed to be someone that you're grounded. This is giving me very Taurus energy, by the way, on your end. So not on their end, on your end. But this is giving me stubbornness of emotion. Like I don't want to let it go. I don't want to. It's like, no, but I hope that it works out. And then you're going to just invest all of these damn years into this kind of thing that is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere, my love. It is forbidden, which means that you're not supposed to have it in this lifetime. There's something about this, though, that is grounded within the both of you that is very much, it's almost like are you live on another platform? Yeah, I'm live on YouTube, just so you know. The don't forget card is giving me past life curse kind of situation. Let me explain what I mean by that. When somebody comes up in this context where it's like, oh, it's a past life situation, or it's like you have this person that is like forbidden. You're not supposed to, but they have some sort of emotional connection. Like you just feel tied to them somehow. It could be a past life issue because you have the don't forget, like the reminder. It is almost like, it could be like one of those situations where you have a past life like trauma or situation or curse with them where your souls are tied for whatever reason. And it's like, you're not necessarily meant to have each other, but you're meant to heal that issue. And so it's like, you can't have that person, but that person is still around and their energy is still annoying that, you know? And it's like, oh, you can't forget about me. You can't forget about me. Why? Because it's that soul connection, that soul bond. It's like, you can't just get rid of me that easily. We have a soul connection. Even if they don't see it that way, it is a past life issue. It is 1000% a past life issue. This reminds me of a past life reading I did for a client a while back, and I'm going to tell the story again because this story is bananas. But she wanted to know why her and her ex just couldn't end up together. She just wanted to know, like, why do we keep getting back together, breaking up, and she keeps cheating on me and all the shit. Like, she just wanted to know. And I'm like, okay. So I opened, I'm doing a past life reading for her. And they had a soul tie because in a past life, in the first past life that they met, they were both children. They were like going to like school in the town or whatever. The ex or whatever, she lived in the woods with her dad. And one day she went to her house, like she tricked her into coming to her house. Her dad and her were cannibalists, so they would eat people. And they killed her and they ate her. And that in itself is blood magic, even though they weren't doing it intentionally. It's not like they were trying to do a soul tie. But when you do anything, when it comes to blood and shit, that's blood magic. And so they became soul tied because of the betrayal. And this is why she has multiple lifetimes where she comes back and it's just straight up betraying her. And they just won't end up together because of this one lifetime, and they have to kind of heal it. So it's literally like it's some crazy shit. Like it's some crazy shit. But this is what I mean by like this is that energy. This is like the first thing that came into my brain when I saw the way that these cards laid out. It's like you can't forget about me. I'm gonna keep coming back. You need to heal this though, because this shit is very much grounded within your energy. This is giving me Taurus vibes. It's giving me like no, you're not gonna just forget about me. You're not just gonna leave. Like you're not just gonna no. It's intense, but you're not meant to end up with this person. You're not. This person's not it. And so with the bottom of the deck, the underlining energies is hope. It's like, and this is ultimately the thing with that grounded energy that you end up fueling all the energy to. You hope for things to be different. You hope for things to be better. You hope for things to end up in a different, situation. But it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because there's a lot of deception, lust, and denial. There's a lot happening in here. There's a lot, and you also have to understand the way that you relate to the situation versus the way that they relate to the situation. They have the way that their soul tie to this situation is different than yours. It could be you could have been at the wrong end of the stick, or you could have been in the past life that did something wrong. I don't know. I don't have your records open, but this is very much like there's deception here. There's now this pain. There's wishing it could have ended up different. But there's definitely lust. There could have been like some sort of cheating situation. There could have been something that happened where it's like your trust was broken. And it's like that pain could have created like a past life trauma that is like, oh, the connection itself can't be forgotten because of the level of betrayal. But this person is forbidden. I cannot stress enough how much the ancestors are like, no. This person is a no. A no. A no. I've never been so sure about somebody being a no in a reading before than now because your spirits are screaming. It is a no. 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 It is a no. No matter, I don't care if they come with all the flowers and all the things. It's a no. I don't care how much hope you think that. No. It is a no. But yeah, y'all have a karmic bond tie situation. Highly recommend healing that because if you don't heal that, that's just going to keep coming back around in multiple lifetimes. It's just going to be impacting both of your relationships. It's just going to be a little bit irritating. So yes, but that was your reading, my love. I hope that it made sense. I hope that, you got all the messages that you needed. I believe we don't have any more readings. Okay. Hope we don't have, okay. We're good. Christine said, oh, affirm what I already knew. Definitely trusting my gut. Okay, perfect. Everybody feeling good? Everybody feeling great? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. I love you guys so much. Stay tuned for the next videos and stuff like that. The next video that you guys are getting from me is tomorrow. It was supposed to go up today, but I didn't have time because I had a tribal meeting. I have a tribal meeting tomorrow too, but your girl's been busy. Also been doing readings a lot. But the next video you guys are gonna get from me on YouTube, it's my spiritual fitness routine. So I'm gonna guide you through what I do. I'm just saying. Can I do? Oh, Katie, did I miss you? Okay, I think I might have missed Katie. Okay, Katie, I will do yours real quick. That's totally fine. So that way, we don't miss each other. Do you have a question, or do you have a specific deck you want me to pull from, or do you want it to be intuitively picked? Let me know, and then we'll sign off after that. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I didn't see that you said. Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh, you said any deck you feel called to is great. Other reasons. Okay, got you. Do you have a specific question? Also, for everybody else watching me on TikTok, if you need to replay this live for any reason, it is on YouTube because TikTok does not let you replay reading. So, yes. Any deck is great. Thank you for accommodating. No problem. Do you have a question? Or do you want a general reading? Let me know if you have a question. Let me know what the question is, and then we'll do the question. Just general, okay. Okay, that's twice in a row, but wisdom from the house of night wants to take this one, so we're gonna do this one. You know how much I wish that this deck came circular over here, because the way these things are pointy and sharp as hell, like, okay. Katie, what does Katie need to know? What's going on with Katie? What's going on? Okay. 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 Wow. Oh. Okay, this is definitely a general theme for your reading. Okay, so the first one is message. Okay. Then we have deceit. Okay. Then we have belonging. Cycles. And then the bottom of the deck is very telling. You have individuality. The bottom of the deck is your underlining energies, by the way. Individuality, the High Priestess of Earth, and self-worth. Very telling to the rest of the reading. Now, first things first, with message and deceit. You're definitely going through a cycle right now. You're going through, oh my God. The way that the planets are also moving, I also think that you are being very much impacted by the retrogrades. But there's a lot that's coming into light right now. There's a lot that you need to know. There's a lot that's kind of like coming up from underneath. There's a lot that needs to be said. There's a lot that needs to be discovered. It's giving very Scorpio. The truth is coming out, and the truth itself will transform you. The truth itself needs to be told. It's giving very Scorpio energy, to be honest. But the way that the planets are set up right now, that's what you're getting the cycles with all the things. The way that the planets are set up right now, the way that the retrogrades are navigating right now, you are in the process of finding yourself a lot more. You're in this journey of really building yourself up, not only like the way that people see you, but your own internal, your self-esteem, your ego. You also are coming to terms with the way that you have been setting yourself up for failure, with the self-deception. Okay, it's the self-deception. It's the doubt. It is the, oh my God, I'm not good enough for this. I'm not good enough for that. It is the doubt. It is the way that you don't feel like you're good enough for certain things, or to receive, or to get. It's the cycle that's happening right now is gonna break down how you feel about yourself, how you feel about where you're at, how you feel about your experience. it's gonna push you into loving yourself a lot more. That's the other thing. This is why you're getting that individuality and that self-worth. You're moving into a space where you're more grounded than how you were before. This is giving Saturn energy as well. Like it's giving very Scorpionic, Scorpio transformation, that Phoenix phase where they go in, they literally die and then they're reborn. It's giving that. It's giving very much like, I need to evolve. I need to stop lying to myself. I need to be honest. Uh, I need to get clear with myself. I need to like, it's almost like you're having like the bad bitch moment where you're like, no, I am that bitch. I am. It's like when you come in, when you start kind of seeing yourself as a more grounded person, as a more sure person, as a more like this journey is gonna take a minute though. It is a cycle. Okay, these planets take a long time to move. It is a minute. You're gonna go through a lesson that's gonna take quite a bit for you to process, but you're gonna come out of it feeling a lot more grounded with yourself, knowing who you are a little bit more, but also loving yourself more. Right now, that's not where you're at. There's a need to belong. There's a need to kind of have your purpose and work through your purpose. You're not fully there right now, but you're getting there. It's like you're going through the cycle of breaking down that self-deception, really getting clear mentally, um, breaking down the way that you feel about yourself and the way that you have your experiences. This is also giving me self-harm energies, by the way. Not sure if you've been thinking about self-harm, harming yourself. Sorry if this is something that's triggering for some people who are watching, but that's just what's coming through. But it feels like you're going through a journey where you'll come out of it feeling more like you belong, but also loving yourself more, which is really, really, really beautiful. It really comes down to that at the end of the day. It's like you need to love yourself more. You need to hold yourself to the higher standard. One of the things that I've always said, and this is coming from me, I'm a Capricorn, okay? Ever since I was a little girl, I have always said this. I am my own best friend. Do I have a best friend? Of course. My wife is my best friend. I love her to death. But I am first and foremost my own best friend. Okay. I know what I love. My sister's also my best friend. I know what I love. I know what I like to eat. I know what makes me happy. You really need to be dating yourself out here when it comes to these kind of things. But you need to make sure that you are your own best friend. You need to make sure that you love yourself, that you love to spend time with yourself, that you like to hang out with yourself, that you like traveling with yourself, that you like having fun with yourself. Like it's one of those things that is like the more you allow life to just go on without you spending time loving yourself first, the more that you will hate your life because you don't know how to spend time with yourself. So you're coming into a time where you're getting pushed to self-evaluate more. Great time for you to go to therapy as well. Great time to do that through this process. But you are grounding yourself more within your individuality. Your style might change and shift during this time as well. You might find yourself changing like what you're wearing, how you're kind of feeling about certain things. You might kind of switch it up. But this is a time where it's not only very healing, but it's also going to be challenging because you're going to have to hold yourself accountable for the things that you allowed yourself to believe about yourself that you know damn well are not true. Okay? And when you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you will tell yourself the deepest lies. You will tell yourself you're not good enough. You will tell yourself that you're not worth it. You will tell yourself like a million goddamn lies that you know damn well are not true. You will be 10 times harder on yourself because you don't know how to be your own best friend. And that is like you punching yourself in the face. It's not fun for you to be the person who is their worst enemy. Like if you were to be like, oh, who's my enemy? Like you know the magic mirror, if you were to ask the magic mirror, who's my worst enemy? It would be you. And you're just like, how do I defeat myself? You have to love yourself. You have to break down the self-deception. And you have to not only get yourself to the place where you feel like you belong, okay, but also like fuck everybody else in that context, like in as far as like needing other people to validate your existence. This is why you need to be your own best friend. You need to love you first and foremost. If you don't love you, other people won't be able to love you because you will never be able to express how you should be loved to them either. you need to make sure that you understand your cycle, that you understand what's happening right now. I also, if I were you, I would get a transit reading to see how the planets are moving right now, because the planets are 1000% impacting your healing and triggering you. I wouldn't be surprised if Saturn is doing certain things, and I wouldn't be surprised if your Chiron is triggered in some sort of way, because the cycles card is like, no, the things that you've been deeply grounded in the BS that you've been deeply grounded in for so long are breaking down, and you are rebuilding not only your self-esteem, your self-worth, your love, your relationship with yourself, so that you feel like, no, I belong, I have a purpose, there's a reason why I'm doing this, there's a reason why I'm here, there's a reason why I need to do what I need to do. There is a reason. There is a reason. It's a very beautiful reading, very beautiful cards, but this is a very much like, how can you help yourself? How are you going to set yourself up for success? Because regardless of the fact, the planets are going to be triggering very, very specific things that are going to start happening in order to push you into reevaluating the deception and looking at how you've been devaluing yourself and grounding yourself within your self-worth. Beautiful, but it's going to be hell to go through if you make it hell. And the way you make it hell is by ignoring yourself. It's by literally like not putting yourself first. It's by not giving yourself the time of day. It's by continuing to not give yourself the space to get to know yourself, to love yourself properly, and just kind of like letting life beat you up. You need to take control. You actively need to take control, or the cycles are going to put you through some shit. I'm telling you, you're going to be crying. Listen, you need to pick how you want to come out of this. The High Priestess of Earth, very, very grounded energy. Take it from a Capricorn, okay? I'm a Capricorn, okay? Take it from a Capricorn. You'd rather be grounded in the ground that's actually going to bear you fruit than have it be muddy, than have it be dry, because you cannot plant anything in those type of circumstances. You need to make sure that the earth that you are navigating through, that it is fertile for you to plant the things that you want from it, okay? If you completely just ignore what's going on with the ground and you expect the ground to give you and bear you fruit, you're insane. It's just not going to happen. The things that you want are going to be blocked off until you do the thing that you need to do, until you ground properly. I'm sorry, Saturn energy is not for the faint of heart. And you're getting very much like, you need to ground yourself. You need to be better for yourself. And you're about to go through the test. I'm about to push you and force you to choose you. It's going to be an experience, but I'm telling you, you can make it 10 times easier for yourself if you commit it to yourself. It really comes down to that. You commit to yourself. If you say, you know what, okay, I got to stop doing this. I got to analyze this. Why do I feel this way about myself? Why do I feel bad about this? Why is this a thing? Where did I get that from? When you start analyzing shit and was like, you know what, I get this from my mom. I'd be judging myself like this because she was judging me when I was younger, but that's not me. That's not my energy. That's her energy. Like the second you start analyzing things and you're like, wait, am I carrying certain things from other people that has literally caused me to have that self-deception? You know, it's important to have that self-awareness, because if not, you end up getting wrecked by the emotions of the experiences that we've lived through. And it's important to navigate it in a way that's healthy. So that is your reading, my love. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you got all the messages you needed. That was a very bold note. That was very, very clear messages. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank y'all for all of the support and all of the love and all of the things. Y'all are the best. And I will see y'all in the next videos and in the next all of the things as we go on. If you want to get a reading with me or anything like that, my website will either be linked in the bio, or if you're on YouTube, it will be linked in the description. And oh, this was absolutely amazing and really resonated. Thanks so much. You were welcome, boo. You're welcome. Yeah, Gemini moon. Spirit just speaks through me, and I just kind of like just let it rock. just let her. But thank y'all for all the love and support. Also, don't forget that I'm having the whole thing with the past life readings. 1 hour past life readings are buy one get one half off. So you get the code after the booking and stuff. I will email it to you. So definitely take advantage of it because it's not gonna last long. But the code lasts till the end of the year. So if you want to do a past life reading like next week and then do a past life reading 3 months from now, you can absolutely do that with the code. So yeah, definitely make sure you take advantage of it. I love you guys. I will see you on the next video. Also, if you want to revisit this live for anything, it will be in my YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube as well. Okay, I love you guys. Bye. Bye.